Is it expensive to go cruising on a sailboat?
Stay tuned to find out as we tell you how much we spent cruising from England to the Mediterranean.
I'm Bryn.
And I'm Jade, and this is Talisman, a 28-foot Sultan stag. In case you're new to our channel, let me catch you up. We bought Talisman in 2019 and then left the UK in July 2021 with less than 200 nautical miles sailing experience. We crossed the Bay of Biscay and headed down towards the Mediterranean, and it's already been a huge adventure with so much more to come. We'd like to share our real and honest experiences with you that we gather from a life at sea. It's going to be a crazy ride. So hit subscribe and join our journey every Friday. So it was actually super interesting to kind of break down these costs and add it all up. Our figures, facts and figures book here, and we've basically broken down month by month how much we've spent, all our costs cruising from England to the Mediterranean, and we're just going to go through those with you now so you can see how much it's cost us. So although we left England on the 15th of July, I'm not going to start with July, and we'll tell you why at the end. So we're going to start with August.
So in August, we started off in the Rias in Spain, northern Spain. We then sailed down Portugal along the Atlantic coast, across the Algarve, and then we got to about where the Spanish and Portuguese border is on the south coast.
August was by far our most jam-packed cruising month. So I'm going to start with groceries, which cost £134. Eating out cost £152. Transport, tourism, and just general kind of shopping, touristy stuff was £100. And marinas in total for August cost £226, and that was for 11 days in marinas. So August was our most expensive month, and we kind of anticipated this because we were going to be going to kind of like Lisbon and just some of the towns that we knew there was more we wanted to do and see there. So the tourist and eating out costs were higher than any other month. This brings our total monthly spend in August to £612. So next we're going to break down September. This is where we went from the Spanish-Portuguese border, making our way through Cadiz, Gibraltar, and into the Mediterranean, where we ended in La Herradura. Another thing I will say is we already kind of anticipated we might spend a little bit more in Gibraltar because there was a few little bits we wanted to see there, and obviously we wanted to do the tourist things, going up the rock, seeing the monkeys. And we ended up staying there even longer than we thought as well, and for National Day.
Yes.
So we thought this would be a lot worse than it is. I'm quite happy with this, so let's get into it.
For this section in September, we spent £182 on groceries and food. We spent £114.50 on transport and tourism. And then for marinas, we spent £82, which was 6 days in marinas. This is the first time we mentioned fuel. We actually spent £50 in Cadiz and then a further £71 in Gibraltar. And the reason why this is the first time is because we were kind of getting by just using our jerry cans that we'd filled up in the UK before we started the adventure. And all this totals £500.
So next we'll talk about October, which was our last month before we flew home. And October was only spent in Almerimar in a marina. So again, we thought maybe this would be higher, but turns out we're actually quite frugal in a marina in one spot, which I was very happy about. So
breaking down the money that we spent there, we actually spent only £50 on groceries. We spent £17.60 eating out and £42 on shopping and transport. There is a bit of a hidden cost, which we're not including into this total monthly cost because we haven't really paid for it yet. But the marina costs, we've gone ahead and we've booked a block which we'll be paying for 6 months, but we're not 100% on the total cost until we get back, but we think it's going to be in the region of around £1,800.
So yeah, we'll do another video where we tell you guys about the marina costs, but for now pretty much that leaves our total for October without the marina costs at £109.
We are so frugal in a marina.
But the reason for this, I think, again, why all these costs really depend on where you're sailing and where you're cruising, is because there wasn't that much to do in Almerimar compared to some of the other places where we wanted to go out, do stuff, eat out, you know, all this kind of stuff. Almerimar was very quiet when we were there.
Yeah. And
there just wasn't much to do, so we spent time like free diving, going for walks. The groceries were cheap because the supermarket was pretty cheap, and we were just cooking from scratch all the time. So yeah, I think it was just a cheap place to be honest.
It also helps that Jade was editing a lot of videos while we were in Alabama.
Yeah, editing kept us busy in October.
Yeah,
we got good Wi-Fi and just sat there and edited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with all of this, that brings our monthly average to £407, which, if I'm honest, I think that is pretty good. Yeah. It's slightly above what we were hoping, but I think we were being super optimistic.
Yeah, I think we predicted between 200 and 300 a month.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
So it's only slightly above, and I think that's not a surprise because we kind of chatted about this, how, one, there wasn't many anchorages down the Portuguese coast, which meant we were in marinas a lot more than we thought, and that's why August was our most expensive month for marinas, because we stayed in them for like a third of the month. And then also we didn't overnight sail like we thought we would, because obviously we were a bit nervous about the fishing pots and the fishing nets. And so we ended up just day sailing, which then again limited us to marinas down the Portuguese coast.
Let's circle back round to July. And
July.
What happened in July?
This happened in July. Cut to previous video. So obviously if you've watched our previous videos, you'll know we had a huge cost in July of £1,300, which was for a rescue. We haven't included this in our kind of monthly breakdowns because it shouldn't be a monthly cost.
No.
It's a one-off, one of those things that you don't think will happen, that you don't foresee. So there's no need for you to probably incorporate something like that into your costs, but it's worth mentioning that's what happened to us. So we had £1,300 as soon as we arrived, basically in Spain. And then we spent 6 days in A Coruña Marina. We didn't pay for this because our fabulous, generous, kind, amazing friends, Cara and Brandon on Tonic, actually paid for the marina for us. They would not take no for an answer, and they're just the most generous people ever. We also didn't really need to do a grocery shop or a provision shop because we still had so much food left. We've massively overstocked up in England, so we haven't included those costs because this is from our journey from England to the Mediterranean. So we didn't spend any more in A Coruña other than the rescue, and obviously the £160 is what we would have spent in a marina if we were paying for it ourselves. So if we're going to try and break down those costs to see where we spent more money and where we spent less money over the 3 months, we spent a total of £436 on groceries, £425 on kind of like tourism, shopping, transport, that kind of stuff, and £468 on marinas. So I definitely think we're feeling quite optimistic about this season now because the marina cost should definitely be lower.
A lot lower.
Yeah, so the fact that the marina cost is the highest cost that we've had, and this season we're definitely hoping that we won't have to stay in marinas as much.
The reason for this, we think mainly, is going to be that up until this point there hasn't been many protected anchorages, and going forward there is a lot more. So we're going to be able to avoid weather without having the need to go into a marina. But also the tourism transport costs that we spent before, we're probably going to be enjoying water sports, hikes and more free activities as we go forward.
So I think our grocery costs will probably be the thing that doesn't really change that much. I think it's probably reasonable what we spend per month on groceries. We eat pretty well. We're always full up.
So now we just want to mention, how we've funded this adventure so far. So when we left the UK, we actually only had £2,000 in our bank account, which is a little bit mental thinking back to it now.
Yeah.
So when we incurred the cost of the recovery, which was £1,300, we had this dilemma at that point, and it was a genuine moment where we were like, shall we put the boat on the hard and should we fly back and go back to work? But then on top of that, something that we really didn't expect and we hadn't mentioned really was Buy Me a Coffee, and family, friends, and also lots and lots of you guys supported us massively. This was really like a turning point and meant that we could keep this journey going and, have this amazing adventure that we've been able to film and put out.
And that was for sure so unexpected. That was such a surprise. Like Bryn said, we hadn't really mentioned it. We had it, but kind of at this point it hadn't really been used, and the fact that so many of you just did it, just so kind, so generous. And for those of you that don't know, you can monetize on YouTube through ad revenue. So it doesn't cost you guys anything, but just you watching it means we get a little bit of money.
Yep,
from
and that's
adverts.
not watching the whole advert.
Yeah.
You can click skip. We still get some support from
That's just for us allowing the adverts to be in the videos, basically. So we weren't earning anything when we left England. But as towards the end of our journey, we were getting an average of between 200 and 400 per month from ad revenue on YouTube and the Buy Me a Coffee. So that was just
it's insane.
Like, it's just mind blowing.
You can see how close that is to our average monthly cost of £407. So we're almost sustainable just from you guys, essentially.
Yeah, like we appreciate it so much. It's a big surprise.
So if any of you guys have any questions about any of the information at all that we've put out in this video, please just ask away in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
And yeah, again, I just want to say like the biggest thank you ever to everyone that continues to watch us, comment, like, and also all of these amazing people on Buy Me a Coffee who continue to support us, both the one-off payments and the members. Like, you're all like so kind and so generous, and thank you so much. So I think that's about it for this video.
Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Guys, look at this little photo of Bryn. How cute is this? Look at him with his little sticks. Aww. We recorded a 50-minute video before this and it didn't record, so now this is us redoing it.
We like to drink with Jade because Jade is our mate. And we drink with Jade. She drinks it down in 8, 7.
No, I'm filming.